Something you're going to get used to doing a lot inside of Microsoft Word is adding content. And that's what Word is all about. Adding text, whether that's alphabet, numeric, special characters, whatever it is, but adding content to your document. So I want to go over some of the basics here of how you're going to add content, add text to a document. And we're going to talk about other forms of content as we go through this course, things like images, tables, table of contents, charts, all sorts of other types of content. But let's talk about just some of the basics of getting some text into your document. Now, open in front of you, I've got the example file that I'm going to supply with this course. You can download it right here on this lecture. It's called 01 Word Entering Text Basics. It's a Word document, .docx. So feel free to download that document and follow along with me. It's a really simple document, but we're going to cover some of the key basics that you're going to build upon throughout the rest of this course. So up above, I've got a series of lines of text. And if you read through them, they talk about some of the techniques that you can use to enter text into this document. So the first one, using a combination of keys on your keyboard, right? Anything on your keyboard, letters, numbers, special characters, this allows you to create lines of text. Okay? Down below, I've got an area for you to practice. So I'm just going to click below that line, and I'm going to retype that line of text right there. So just using the keys on my keyboard, using a combination of keys on your keyboard, right? And that's letters, numbers, whatever it is. I got a bunch of letters in there. Here's my number pad. I got my numbers. Special characters, things like Shift 2, get the @ symbol in there. Shift 4, get the currency symbol in there, the dollar symbol in there, and so on. But using a combination of these characters, you're going to start to add content and create lines of text on your Word document. Okay, there's one. Now, very important, as I'm typing that line of text there, let's say I'm all done. I'm going to go period. Like, hey, I'm done with that sentence. I want to move away from that topic and I want to get into a whole new line of text. Well, read the second line here. Using the Enter key will allow you to create a new line or a new paragraph. So on my keyboard, I'll press Enter. You'll notice that this drops my cursor or your insertion point down to a whole new line. I've now left that previous line that I was typing on, then I've dropped down to a whole new line, and it's created a little bit of space in between those two lines. Now this is very important because I'm creating a new line, but I'm also creating a new paragraph inside of Word. This is a hard return. So now if I start typing, using the Enter key, we'll create a new line or paragraph. Okay? Now I'm going to turn something on here. Let's say period. Okay? I'm going to turn something on here that's going to help us identify the different keystrokes that I'm using on my keyboard. Whether it's the space bar to create space between words, or it's the Enter key on my keyboard, or a number of other special keys on my keyboard to help me insert this text. I'm going to go up to my Home tab, top of my screen, Home. Underneath the Paragraph section, I have this kind of what looks like a backwards P. These are your paragraph markers or formatting markers. So I give that a click. This is going to turn on some symbols on my document. Now, anytime you see the backwards P, it means that you hit your Enter key. You created a new line, you created a new paragraph. Anytime you see a dot, see that little dot inside of there? You see them everywhere in between my words. That's every time I hit my space bar on my keyboard. Now, let's see, if I keep going here, there's one that looks like kind of a little hooked arrow. Let's take a look at that one. I'm going to drop down a new line here. And let's see, using the Shift, let's spell that right, Shift plus Enter. Shift plus Enter. So on my keyboard, I'm going to hold down Shift and the Enter key. So I'll do Shift, then hold down my Enter key. This creates what's called a soft return. And it creates that little hooked arrow. Now if I keep typing here, using the Shift plus Enter key, creates a soft return, period. you'll notice that it did create a new line for me, but it didn't give me as much space. Right? Remember when I hit my enter key here, that was a hard return. It gave me a bunch of space. I got some space in between the two new paragraphs. But with the shift enter, still banging on my keyboard, any characters I want out there, this creates a soft return. And there's less space in between the two. Clear that off my screen. Now if I keep going here, I can retype this entire line right here. When enough characters are typed, you'll eventually reach the edge of the page or the margin of the page. This will cause the text to automatically wrap to a new line. So I don't have to hit my enter key every time I want to wrap down to a new line. But if I'm continuing the same thought, the same paragraph, maybe it's a single sentence or multiple sentences, I just keep typing. As soon as I reach this edge of the page, or what we'll consider the margin of the page, Word will automatically wrap the text down to a new line. Automatically. Nothing new that we have to do there. No special key you got to hold down or anything. Now these are just basics. I'm sure some of you watching this video are like, yeah, okay, I know this stuff, right? You've been working inside of a word processor, whether it was Word or other applications for a while now. These are basic stuff. If not, we want to nail down these key concepts. Bang it on your keyboard, right? Whatever it is you're typing out there, text, numbers, whatever it is, okay, getting that content out there on the page. To help you organize that content, you're going to use things like your enter key to be able to create new paragraphs. You're going to use shift enter to do a soft return. Not a whole new paragraph, but perhaps we want to end a sentence and then drop down. Really helpful inside of bullet lists. Maybe you got a header, and right below that, you want a soft return, you want to create your bullet list. There's other key combinations that we can use. The next line here talks about using the tab key. If you want to indent, see that character right there? That little right arrow? That's because I hit the tab key on my keyboard. I was able to indent that in. Now I'm going to turn on something additional here on my screen. If I go to my View tab, top of my screen, I'm going to activate the ruler. And let's see what we got here. So if I go down to that line, and again I hit my tab key there, it moved it in, and I'm just kind of eyeballing it here. It moved it in about 1/2 inch from the left margin of the page. And that's what happens every time you hit your tab key. It goes in an inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. If I get back up here and I hit my tab key a few more times, just place my cursor there, you'll see I got multiple tab strokes inside of there, and every time I did it, it moved 1/2 inch in there. So again, using these combination of keys on your keyboard together with a way for you to organize your content, enter, tab, shift enter, your space bar, help you to organize and place content into your document. So try this out. Download the example file, just copy the lines down below and pay close attention to the keywords in there like enter and shift enter and tab. Try different characters. Try numbers and text. You can even write your own sentences if you like. But I've given you some examples here that you can just follow down below. Try it out. Get comfortable adding content, text content, to your document.